You enter the quiet room, your footsteps soft against the carpeted floor. The faint hum of the clock ticking on the wall seems louder than usual, filling the silence between you and the person waiting patiently on the other side of the desk. You feel exposed, your thoughts swirling but your voice hesitant. Caught in the stillness that stretches like a vast, empty ocean. This is a place where your silence first meets a presence that refuses to let it go unanswered. Here, in this room, the silence is not an absence but an invitation. An invitation to lean into your loneliness, to face the weight of your unspoken fears and untold stories. The therapist doesn't rush you. They hold space for the pauses, the faltering words, the trembling breaths. There is no judgment here, no pressure to perform or explain perfectly. This safe space becomes a foundation where your fragile voice begins to grow stronger. You might have come here thinking the silence between you was impenetrable, like a wall built from years of isolation and pain. But slowly, through the gentle, unwavering presence of the therapist, you begin to sense that this silence can be crossed. As Irvin Yalom describes, the here and now encounter between patient and therapist becomes a crucible for change. It is in this relationship, grounded in empathy and authenticity, that the healing journey starts. In the early sessions, you may feel trapped in your internal world, where loneliness feels like a constant companion. Your mind spins stories of abandonment and despair, convincing you that no one truly understands or can reach you. But the therapist listens, not just with ears, but with heart. Their attention, free from distraction or judgment, reflects back to you a version of yourself you may have long forgotten, worthy of connection, capable of trust. There is a subtle power in this therapeutic encounter, something almost magical. It is not about clever advice or quick fixes, but about witnessing. You are witnessed in your entirety, the pain, the confusion, the hope, all interwoven. The therapist's consistent presence gently challenges your beliefs that you are alone in this struggle. Their nonverbal cues, a nod, a soft smile, a patient pause, become lifelines bridging your isolation. You might notice moments where silence feels thick, almost unbearable. Yet, it is precisely in those moments that the therapeutic relationship deepens. Yalom emphasizes how being with a patient in these uncomfortable spaces teaches you that silence itself can be transformative. The silence is no longer a void but shared experience, a place where connection is forged without words. As sessions progress, you start to feel less like a passive observer of your loneliness and more like an active participant in your own story. The safety you experience here encourages you to explore difficult emotions that once felt too overwhelming. Gradually, you learn to tolerate the discomfort of vulnerability, discovering that it can lead to profound insights and growth. The therapist becomes more than just a professional. They become a companion on your existential journey. This relationship models what it means to be truly seen and accepted. Through this encounter, you glimpse the possibility that connection is not about perfection or endless happiness, but about being present with another human being in all their complexity. In this shared space beyond silence, you begin to reclaim your voice. You find the courage to speak truths you've hidden even from yourself. Your stories, once trapped in shadows, find light. And in doing so, the distance that once separated you from others begins to shrink. You realize that the therapeutic encounter is not a cure in itself, but a powerful catalyst. It is the foundation from which you can build new ways of relating to yourself and the world. This safe space beyond silence becomes a sanctuary where loneliness is met with understanding and despair with hope. And as you prepare to leave the room after each session, you carry with you something subtle but profound. The knowledge that you are not alone, that beyond the silence, there is a connection waiting to be nurtured, one conversation at a time. You sit across from the therapist once again, feeling the familiar mix of hesitation and hope that pulls at you each time you enter this space. There's a heaviness in your chest, a weight you've carried for as long as you can remember, an ache that words alone have never fully captured. It's a loneliness that runs deeper than solitude, an existential loneliness that feels rooted not in circumstance, but in the very nature of being human. The therapist gently invites you to explore this feeling, to bring it out from the shadows where it has quietly shaped so much of your life. They speak softly about existential loneliness, a concept that Irvin Yalom calls one of the ultimate concerns we all face. This loneliness is not just about being physically alone. It's about the inherent separateness of every individual. No matter how close you get to others, there remains a part of your inner world that only you can inhabit. You begin to realize that this loneliness is not a personal failing or something to fix, but a core part of existence. The therapist's words echo Viktor Frankl's insight that life's meaning often arises through how we confront these fundamental truths. You are invited to feel the discomfort of this loneliness without retreating into avoidance or distraction. In the safe container of therapy, you allow yourself to sit with this raw truth. It's terrifying and freeing all at once. To face that beneath all the relationships, roles, and identities, you stand alone in your experience. The therapist holds your gaze with calm acceptance, offering no easy answers, but a steady presence that encourages your courage. As you delve deeper, you begin to see how this existential loneliness has influenced your behaviors and choices. Perhaps you have built walls to keep others at a distance, fearing rejection or betrayal. Maybe you have numbed yourself with distractions, avoiding the painful awareness of your separateness. Yet, beneath these defenses, the loneliness persists. The therapist guides you through this exploration, not to eliminate the loneliness, but to transform your relationship with it. Drawing on Yalom's existential framework, you learn that embracing the solitude can lead to authentic living. The loneliness becomes a mirror reflecting your true self, stripped of masks and pretenses. This process is not linear or easy. Moments arise when the loneliness feels overwhelming, threatening to engulf you. Yet, the therapeutic relationship acts as an anchor, proof that connection is possible even amid this fundamental separateness. The therapist's empathy and understanding reassure you that your aloneness does not have to be synonymous with isolation. You begin to experiment with vulnerability, sharing parts of yourself that were previously locked away. Each act of openness is a step toward reclaiming your agency in the face of existential loneliness. The therapist celebrates these moments with you, recognizing the bravery it takes to confront such a profound human condition. Slowly, a new narrative emerges. You no longer see yourself as broken or abandoned, but as someone engaging honestly with life's deepest realities. This acceptance opens space for hope and meaning, even as the loneliness remains. You realize that to be fully human is to live with both connection and solitude intertwined. The therapist encourages you to carry this awareness beyond the therapy room. In daily life, you begin to notice the subtle ways you can acknowledge your aloneness without fear, through mindful reflection, creative expression, or meaningful encounters. These practices become tools for resilience, helping you navigate the inevitable moments when loneliness surfaces. By facing existential loneliness head-on, you reclaim a part of yourself that was lost in avoidance. You step into a more authentic existence, one where the silence inside is not something to be feared, but a space for profound growth. Through the therapeutic journey, you discover that you can be alone yet deeply connected to the human experience. And as you walk out into the world after each session, you carry with you a quiet strength, the knowledge that loneliness, while an undeniable part of life, does not have to define or defeat you. It is instead a passage toward greater self-understanding and deeper connection with others. You enter the room feeling familiar tension, that tightness in your throat, the voice inside you clamoring to be heard but locked away behind walls of fear and doubt. For years, you have carried an internal silence, a quiet fortress built from shame, pain, and the dread of being misunderstood or rejected. It feels safer to keep your thoughts and feelings hidden, but you also know that this silence has come at a heavy cost. The therapist sits patiently across from you, their eyes calm and inviting, creating a space where words can begin to surface. They don't rush you, nor do they fill the silence with empty chatter. Instead, they gently encourage you to explore what it feels like to finally give voice to what's been buried inside. You recall how, long ago, you learned that speaking up wasn't safe. Perhaps you were dismissed, criticized, or ignored. That lesson shaped the way you relate to yourself and others, a constant hesitation, a fear that your true self will be rejected. Freud's concept of repression echoes here, as you recognize how you have pushed difficult feelings and thoughts into the unconscious, hoping they would disappear. Yet now, in this therapeutic encounter, you are invited to break free from those chains. Winnicott's idea of the true self resonates as you begin to peel away the layers of defense. You realize that the silence isn't who you truly are, but a protective shell that kept you from facing vulnerability. The therapist listens deeply as you falter over your words. The courage it takes apparent in every breath you draw. There's a sacredness in this moment, the first steps toward reclaiming your voice. The silence between you is no longer oppressive, but pregnant with possibility. You start to tell your story, hesitantly at first, then with growing confidence. The therapist's acceptance reinforces your trust, reminding you that here you can be seen and heard without judgment. Each shared thought chips away at the walls, allowing connection to seep in where there was once only isolation. You notice how speaking your truth lightens the burden. Emotions long held captive, anger, sadness, fear, begin to flow, and with them, a profound sense of relief. The therapist guides you to stay with these feelings, validating their presence and helping you to understand them rather than fear them. This process is not easy. Vulnerability demands courage, and setbacks can feel like failures. But with each session, your internal silence loosens its grip. The act of speaking becomes a form of resistance against the loneliness that once consumed you. You come to see that your voice is power, not because it must be loud or perfect, but because it is authentically yours. This realization shifts your relationship with yourself and others. You begin to engage more openly outside therapy, testing the waters of connection and trust. The therapist reminds you that this journey is ongoing. There will be times when silence returns, when fear tempts you back into hiding, but you have cultivated a new skill, the courage to speak, to confront that silence head-on and choose connection instead. By breaking these chains, you open the door to healing and self-discovery. You reclaim parts of yourself that were lost to silence and isolation. And in doing so, you find not just relief but a deeper, more meaningful relationship with your own story and with those around you. As you leave the session, you carry with you a quiet but powerful truth. Your voice matters. Beyond the internal silence that once held you captive lies the possibility of genuine connection and freedom. You find yourself sitting in the therapist's chair, a heaviness pressing down that feels like an endless void inside. It's as if all the colors of life have faded, replaced by a dull gray numbness that swallows meaning whole. You wonder if anything really matters anymore, or if your suffering is simply a cruel twist of fate with no purpose or end. The therapist listens quietly, sensing the depth of your despair without trying to fix it. They gently introduce the idea that meaning isn't something handed to us, but something we create, even in the darkest moments. Drawing on Viktor Frankl's logotherapy and Irvin Yalom's existential insights, they invite you to engage in a dialogue about life's most profound questions. Why am I here? What gives my suffering value? Can I find purpose in pain? At first, these questions feel overwhelming, almost impossible to face. But the therapist's presence creates a container where you can explore without judgment or pressure. The silence between your words holds space for reflection, for the stirring of something deeper beneath your despair. You start to recall moments, small flickers of connection, kindness, or beauty that, though faint, still hold meaning. The therapist encourages you to explore these moments, no matter how fleeting, and to consider how they might serve as anchors in the vastness of your pain. This process of meaning-making is not a quick fix. It demands patience and courage to confront the void without turning away. Yet, as you persist, you begin to sense that meaning is less about grand answers and more about the way you choose to engage with life's uncertainty. The therapist shares Yalom's belief that meaning arises through authentic engagement with ourselves, with others, and with the reality of our existence. They remind you that despair, while deeply painful, can become a catalyst for growth when met with honest dialogue. Through these conversations, you discover that your suffering is not meaningless, but part of a broader human experience. You are not alone in your struggle. Others have faced a void and found ways to weave meaning from it. This realization softens your isolation and opens a path toward hope. The therapist supports you in experimenting with new ways to find purpose, perhaps through creative expression, relationships, or acts of compassion. These steps, though small, begin to fill the void with threads of meaning that connect you to life. You learn that meaning-making is an ongoing journey, one that embraces both light and shadow. The existential dialogue nurtured in therapy becomes a beacon in the darkness, guiding you toward a life that, while imperfect, is rich with significance. As you leave the session, you carry with you a fragile but growing sense that even in despair, there is a possibility for meaning. This awareness becomes a source of resilience, helping you navigate life's uncertainties with greater courage and openness. You walk into the therapy room carrying the weight of loneliness that no one else seems to see or understand. You have felt invisible in your pain, as if your suffering were a secret kept locked inside. But here, in this quiet space, something feels different. The therapist looks at you, not with impatience or distraction, but with deep, compassionate attention that quietly says, "I see you." This act of witnessing is more than just listening. It is a profound recognition of your humanity, your struggles, your silent cries. Irvin Yalom and many psychoanalysts emphasize how being truly seen and held in this way can begin to heal wounds left by years of isolation and misunderstanding. In the beginning, you might find it difficult to fully trust this witnessing. Your defenses have been built to protect you from disappointment and rejection. But the therapist's steady presence offers a relational safety net that invites you to lower your guard, even if just a little. As sessions unfold, you begin to notice how the therapist's attention validates your pain without trying to fix or erase it. This validation itself becomes a balm, affirming that your feelings are real and worthy of acknowledgement. It is the first step toward transforming loneliness from a source of despair into an experience that connects you to another human being. You learn that the therapist's role as a witness is not passive. They actively engage with your suffering, reflecting it back with empathy and understanding. This relational dynamic fosters a reparative experience, one that gently challenges the belief that you must face your pain alone. In this therapeutic alliance, you find a place where silence does not isolate but holds meaning. The therapist's willingness to bear witness to your loneliness creates a shared space where connection can begin. You realize that being seen and heard is a powerful antidote to the loneliness that once felt insurmountable. This witnessing opens new possibilities for how you relate to yourself and others. You start to internalize the therapist's acceptance, learning to be a compassionate witness to your own experience. This shift nurtures self-awareness and self-kindness, helping to break cycles of self-criticism and isolation. Outside the therapy room, you carry this new understanding with you. You begin to recognize moments when you can offer the same kind of compassionate witnessing to others and to yourself. This creates ripples of connection that extend beyond the sessions, slowly knitting a web of belonging. The therapist's role as witness models the essence of human connection, being fully present without judgment with another's pain. It is a reminder that loneliness can be met not with abandonment but with care. As you leave the session, you feel a subtle but profound change. The loneliness that once seemed like a vast, empty chasm now feels less daunting, held gently within the shared space of your therapeutic relationship. You walk away with a sense that your pain is no longer invisible, and that connection, even in its quietest forms, holds the power to heal. You step out of the therapy room carrying the echoes of your conversations, the warmth of being seen, and the courage to face your loneliness. Yet, the real challenge begins now. Bringing what you've discovered inside these walls into the messy, unpredictable world outside. The therapist has been your companion in exploring silence, pain, and meaning. But your life unfolds beyond these sessions, where old patterns, fears, and habits often beckon you back into isolation. You wonder, how can you sustain this newfound hope? How can you keep nurturing connection when the world feels indifferent or overwhelming? This is where the work truly becomes yours. Inspired by Irvin Yalom and other existential thinkers, you learn that therapy offers not just answers but tools, awareness, presence, and a willingness to engage honestly with yourself and others. These tools help you weave connection into everyday moments. You begin by practicing small acts of openness, a shared smile, a vulnerable conversation with a friend, a moment of kindness to a stranger. These seemingly simple gestures ripple outward, breaking down walls built by loneliness. Each act reminds you that connection is a choice you can make, even when it feels risky. You also cultivate hope, not as blind optimism, but as a resilient stance grounded in your experience. Hope becomes a thread that links you to future possibilities, a motivation to keep reaching out despite setbacks. It is the spark that lights your way through dark times. The therapist encourages you to embrace uncertainty as a natural part of life, You discover that connection does not require perfection or constant happiness, but the willingness to be present, even when things feel fragile. This acceptance opens space for genuine relationships, built on authenticity rather than illusion. In moments of loneliness, you remind yourself of the therapeutic journey you've undertaken, the courage to speak, the meaning found in despair, the power of being witnessed. These memories become anchors, supporting you as you navigate life's challenges. You also develop practices that nurture your inner world, mindfulness, creative expression, or time in nature. These help you stay connected to yourself, cultivating self-compassion and grounding you in the present moment. Slowly, you notice a shift. You feel more equipped to face loneliness not as an enemy, but as a part of the human experience that can coexist with connection and hope. The silence you once feared becomes a space for reflection and growth. Beyond therapy, you become an active participant in your own healing and in building the connections that sustain you. You carry with you the understanding that while loneliness may never fully disappear, it need not define your life. As you move forward, you embrace the ongoing dance between solitude and connection, finding peace in knowing that both are essential threads in the fabric of existence. Your journey beyond silence continues. One conversation, one connection, one courageous step at a time. If this video spoke to you, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more deep conversations that help us navigate life's toughest moments together. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Your story matters here. Remember, you're never alone in this journey, and every step forward counts. Turn on notifications so you never miss an episode that could change the way you see yourself and the world. Let's keep this conversation going, because healing happens beyond silence, one connection at a time.